Welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast, where heart-centered entrepreneurs, visionaries, and everyday heroes in your backyard are helping the world break free to live life more purposefully, one story at a time. I am Seema Giri, your host, an award-winning author, entrepreneur, and holistic lifestyle strategist. Today's show is sponsored by Uplift Media. For strategies on how to break free to your brilliance and get your free gift, 10 Ways to Live a Dynamic Life, visit seemagiri.com. Today, our special guest is Michelle Sugiyama. She's a certified health coach, nutritional chef, and national speaker. Michelle is a co-author in our upcoming book, Break Free to Stand in Your Power, releasing June 17th. Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's such a pleasure to be with you, Seema.
Well, same here, likewise. Before we get started with our interview, I would like to do a quick grounding meditation for us and for our listeners. So let's just sit comfortably and close our eyes for a minute and take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. And bring your focus and attention to the here and now. We are here together. I don't believe it's a coincidence, but for a reason. There's something in our hearts that we want to share with our listeners. And listeners should pay attention to what is really being called upon on their heart and what do they need to listen to today. Taking another couple of deep cleansing breaths. We keep thinking about the things that we need to do next. Those things that you need to do next are going to be there waiting for you. So let go of anything you need to do next, or the feelings that you're carrying in from what you've done previous to joining us today. And allow this time to be yours and bring your focus to the present. And with another deep breath, open your eyes. Michelle, did you get any messages of what is calling on you today?
Yes, I did. I thank you for helping me to recenter, to be more in the present and not think about things that are calling for the future, especially now because there's just so much going on in my household. And I really thought about how I would like to really be clear in what I want to tell the listeners, and hopefully give them some insights to how to be more mindful about the future, their well-being, and how to help the community and beyond.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that's exactly, I think, what our audience needs to hear today. What inspired you to be part of our Break Free anthology?
Well, first, I just wanted to thank you, Seema, for asking me to be a part of this journey with you and the other authors. Since I never thought of myself as a writer, because it's very painful for me to write, I was apprehensive and almost afraid about taking on the challenge.
Mm.
I wanted to say no, but I was very struck by the title, Break Free to Stand in Your Power. I thought, wow, I can totally relate to that. And I bet a lot of other people can too. Knowing that I could positively impact people around the world motivated me to say yes, step up to the plate, and start writing. But I would say my big inspiration and actually why I do what I do is my 101-year-old grandmother. Her
Mm.
mantra was health is number one. And it is so true. You won't be able to enjoy your hard-earned money or share your gifts or, more importantly, spend time with family and friends if you don't have your health. I mean, you could be the richest, the smartest, or most talented person, but without it, you won't, well, you could wind up having nothing. So really, because of her, I talk about some quite uncomfortable moments in my life to
Mhm.
hopefully inspire, motivate, or empower people so they can truly enjoy their golden half of life.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Michelle. You know, stepping up is one of the most difficult things that we can do, but rewarding at the same time. So it takes a lot of courage to do that. And I am so grateful that you're part of this anthology to do that, because I know you have these wonderful gifts and your main focus as well is health. And we know from personal experiences that health is wealth. And unfortunately, that is one thing that people put to the bottom of the priority list, if it's on the priority list. And that is one of the intentions with this anthology, is to make people aware that there has to be one of the four pillars or one of the three pillars or whatever top pillars. It has to be part of your top pillars to lead an effective and healthy life. So I'm so glad you've highlighted that from the very beginning. And what better lesson to get from than from your grandmother? That is amazing.
Thank you.
What now I know you said her mantra is health. Can you repeat her mantra again?
Sure, it's health is number one.
Health is number one, right? And so how have you imbibed that in your life?
Well, interestingly, when I was young, I didn't realize that, that was her mantra, but my parents always try to instill good health. And when I got into college, I went completely the other way. I mean, I was eating pizzas and drinking soda and having cookies for breakfast.
Mm,
But as I grew older, I really had that good foundation. So I really started to focus on health and wellness after I had a very stressful decade in corporate America. And it is about the four pillars of health. And so, what is that? That's lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and nutrition. And
mhm,
so in my health and my family's health, that's what I try to do, is try to keep everybody really grounded in those four pillars, and then also try to educate others, whether it be one-on-one coaching or corporate classes, to really focus and um, how do we do practical things in our lifestyle to reach our better self.
hmm. Very interesting. I was just thinking, I have the same same four components. I don't think there is anything else besides those four things. And you know, when we get the freedom, I did the same thing. When you get the freedom, the first thing you do, whether you've had a healthy upbringing, more conscious on health upbringing, or the reverse, I've seen people go the opposite way when they get the freedom. Right?
Right.
So that is so natural. But then eventually we do get back on track. Um, Michelle, what is the name of your chapter, and what is that experience you want the readers to have when they read yours?
My chapter is entitled Breaking Free with Mindfulness, and I hope that the readers experience that they don't have to hold in shame, guilt, or other negative experiences that may have trapped them in like a self-induced prison.
Mm,
So you see, I did this for many, many years. And so in my chapter, I decided to share something that I was taught never to share, things that will make you look bad.
mhm,
Um, it could have been because my dad is Japanese and he was raised during World War II, and he would say to me, "Don't look bad. It's not only a bad reflection of yourself, but of your entire race."
Mm.
And of course, that stuck with me my entire life. But interestingly, just a few weeks ago, I was talking to my niece, and I loved what she said. She said, "There's power in vulnerability," which she actually heard from one of her professors years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I pondered it over for days. I was like, gosh, I love that. And so, of course, I had to Google it. And wouldn't you know that the first thing that popped up was a video with Brene Brown. It's all about vulnerability.
Yes.
And really, so I tell my story, and it's something that I thought I would never share, in the hopes that it will help others to break free so they can really, truly let their light shine.
I can totally relate with you. That is such an Asian thing. We also have that in the Indian community also. And you feel like you're carrying the burden of so many people that can be really suffocating for yourself and you not living a good quality life. So I'm really glad that you're bringing this up and out so we can create more of the awareness that it is not making everyone look bad. It also depends on how you're presenting it and what context you're bringing that out. But the more we've seen the power of, the more we share our journey, the more we educate, the more people we can help, because everyone is going through similar situations. I have traveled so much, I've traveled around the globe, and I notice it's the same thing everywhere, no matter where you are. And the common connection, the common thread is that we are all humans. So we're going to have these kind of feelings, and it's okay. What's not okay is keeping it to yourself and allowing it to kill you internally.
Absolutely. And believe me, I did that for many, many years.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, but I think that's the good thing, that you go through certain situations and so bad as what we have been through that it's not our story to keep. I learned that from Lisa Nicholas. She goes, if you've gone through something so horrific and you've come through,
Mhm.
it's not your story to keep. You need to share that to help others with it, because guaranteed people are going through that.
And I totally believe that. Truly, I truly do. And it took me so long to understand that and to realize that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you reached that level. And I love Brene Brown. She delivers such tough, difficult information to hear, to read, and to understand in such a easy manner. And I think that's what she said. That's her gift, the gift of language, of simplifying difficult things so the world can understand and comprehend. So I'm glad I watched Super Soul Sunday with Oprah. She's been on there so many times. What is that? Our intention with this book was to educate, inspire, and empower people, and to give them hope that they too can overcome their challenges. Now that this pandemic has hit, do you think the book provides a different level of value to people now?
Absolutely. I mean, I believe that with tragedy, there's also silver linings that happen. And I think one of the silver linings is that it's allowing people to really slow down, to reflect, to look inward, and appreciate what is important to them. And I think this book will be like a treasure trove of humanity,
Hmm.
with many stories that people can relate to and identify with. For some people, it might be a relief, that they're not alone. It
Hmm.
might give people hope. It might give people life guiding wisdom, or just simple tools that they can implement in their everyday life. And personally, I'm really looking forward to coming out, really reading and rereading some of the stories and learning valuable lessons, and things that can help me to grow and flourish.
Wow. I like what you said. Michelle, I think what you just said makes so much sense. And I love what you said, the treasure trove of
Of humanity.
hope to people, to humanity. And that is really what our intention is. And I feel that I feel that people are going to be more open now to receive this message. and more open to start their own journeys towards recovery, towards healing. And if we can do it collectively together as a community, as a nation, and globally, it's going to have such a major impact. And I really feel that that's what's really needed right now.
Absolutely. I love that whole collective consciousness.
Yeah, yeah. It makes a huge difference.
Mhm.
So, with that in mind, what is that one tip that you can give that our listeners can implement right away?
Sure. Well, with this unprecedented time, I would say to take quality time for yourself. I mean, it sounds selfish, but it's important to really put yourself first so you can be present and be able to lift up others, especially your kids if you're homeschooling right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's really a tough job, believe me. I'm going through it right now. But, to take positive actions that serve your body, your mind, or your spirit, because really you're the expert and the master of your own wellness, and it's your responsibility to take charge. And to really be a master of your own wellness, you have to have balance.
Mm-hmm.
And for some, balance might be taking deep belly breaths or going for a walk when they're stressed out or need to get away from the computer. I know hiking helps me to recenter, to really get my blood moving. So what I like to do is go out, hit one of the peaks so I can see all of San Jose, and then let the wind just hit my face. I'll even at times stretch my arms out, almost like a power pose,
Mm-hmm.
and really think about what I'm grateful for. And whatever comes up for me that day is that I'll almost, say it like a mantra. I'll say it a couple times. I mean, for some people, it could also look like being aware of what you're putting in your mouth, say, for example. So I've seen so many posts about how people are rummaging through their snack cabinets a little bit more than usual. I don't know, are you going through that, Seema, right
Yeah,
now?
I am.
Well, my family and I are experiencing the same thing on a daily basis, especially my 9-year-old daughter. She like forages for food about every 15 minutes. And it's really because she's either bored, she's overwhelmed with schoolwork, or extremely frustrated with her homeschool teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so in other words, it's about being mindful about, whether or not you're truly physiologically hungry, and maybe ask yourself, did I get hit by an eating trigger, or that would be like stress or something, or am I hungry for something else like social connection?
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh,
all that being said, it would be to take action with things that serve your physical, mental, and emotional well-being, and especially do things to really boost that immunity, because we don't know whether or not COVID's going to hit again in a worse way this coming fall and winter.
So what I'm hearing you say, that one tip that you have is to make sure that you are implementing self-care practices around physical, emotional, and mental health, mental
Mhm.
wellness,
Mhm.
because the combination of all of this will help boost your immunity and prepare you for these uncertain times.
Absolutely. And also, so you could really reduce your risks of, chronic disease, to truly enjoy, the second half of life, your golden years.
Right,
Mhm.
right. Thank you, Michelle, for those wise suggestions and wonderful inputs on what our readers can do now, for what our listeners can do now at this time. It was such a pleasure having you on this podcast, and I'm looking forward to the book launch with you on June 17th.
Thank you very much, Seema.
Thank you for joining us for this interview. I hope you've gained some insights and/or tips that you can implement right away. For more interviews like this, please visit us at seemagiri.com or visit our YouTube channel, Break Free to Brilliance with Seema Giri. Until next time, have a great day.